Hi everyone, I'm Nicole Feliz, and today we're gonna talk about the different people that work in the court process. But I just don't want to just give it the meaning. I want to like we are living in like we are in the courtroom. So let's start. Okay, let's talk about the plaintiff. It's the one who start a civil case because they were harmed. For example, a store like ignore a norm and they get dangerous. They are able to sue. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about the respondent. The respondent is the one who answer or responding a legal claim. For example, appeal a family court case. Respondent is like the person responding and going to their side of the story. So basically, it's like the other person presenting their case in the court. Let's talk about the accused. The accused is a person who was charged with by committing a crime. For example, somebody like rob or assault somebody. Even if everybody think he is guilty in the justice system, they don't want to be like judge until this prove they're guilty. So until like everything is figured out in the court, they're not gonna be charged and they're gonna be innocent until they prove other things. So that is the accused. Let's talk about the prosecutor. It's one of my favorite actually part of like the core. It's like is this person who work for the government and there are like literally their job is prove they like the accused commit the crime. So, for example, they need to go through video footage. They need to have witness statement. So he go for a process. He goes for a process, but he need to win the case win the case for the government. It's one of my favorites. It's one of definitely my favorite because it's so much information. It's so much adrenaline. This definitely it's one of my favorite. Okay, let's talk about the defense attorney. He's the lawyer of the accused, and like his job is protect the rights and defend the accused. For example, like the defense attorney point like missing evidence, question the witness, and basically try to like help with defending the accused and win the case. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the judge. The judge is a person who is in charge of the court. He literally need to be in charge that everybody is following the rules, everybody is being respectful, and is a fair trial. Mind you, like the judge, um, it never be like pick a side. He hear everything and like enough for being a fair trial. Okay, let's talk about the victim. The victim, it was like the person who was harmed by the crime. For example, somebody was assault, robber. Um, they basically will explain how they were affected by the crime and how that affect their life. The witness are the person who give information about the case. For example, it could be people that see what happened. It can be like people of the background of like the defendant or the victim, or it can even like be specials, people like doctors, psychology. It can be like really varying, like depending the case. um, but they're really important in the case. The police officers are mostly at the beginning of the case, um, processing, investigating the crime, or are the evidence, and sometimes working the arrest. For example, they take the fingerprints, or interview the witness. Like, for example, it's like crime trial, like criminal trial. They literally gonna begin from the beginning. For example, is this case like that I've been followed like from the beginning? Is like this crash, and the police at the beginning, like the body comes, uh, take off the beginning of like crucial, important things that will help the case. So like it's interesting. Like for example, is this a criminal case? They are really like into. I know it's work different if it's in a civil case, but I'm really like really into criminal case. So that's why I like really like when like you can see like the beginning with the like police, like they make the first arrest if it's somebody, you know, Rovi or something, and they be able like to have like the crime from the beginning to the end. That's like really fascinating me. Let's talk about the people in the jury. It's basically a group of like normal people, and the only job is to listen carefully um, during the trial. Their job is listen carefully and determine if the accused is guilty and based off the evidence. And we done. Okay, now that we passed for every person that it's part of the core room, it's important to say that every person is important to take a fair trial and maintain the legal system work fairly for everybody, and that justice is served. And I really like all this because it's so interesting, like how you think like the minimal, or like the minimal evidence is, I don't know, I really like the courtroom is like something that really passion me, because it's so much energy, so much information. I like the trials when they're like with the jury. um I don't know, I just really like them. But thank you for listening to me. Have a good day.